Today, September 23rd, Archangel Michael says, "The good news you have been waiting for so long has come. Don't try to skip this. Open immediately." Today, September 23rd, Archangel Michael says the good news you have waited for with tired eyes and hopeful hands is already moving toward you like a train you fondly hear in the distance. Do not try to skip this because the track under your feet is humming with promise and the signal is already green. Open your heart immediately because the doors you thought were rusted shut are ready to swing wide with grace. You wakes as if someone touched your shoulder with a feather and a spark travels through your chest like sunrise touching water. The room feels familiar yet brighter and the ordinary air carries the weight of a message stamped with your name. A quiet certainty walks in first, and courage follows it like a loyal friend who refuses to let go. The clock on your wall seems louder today, not with panic, but with a countdown to relief that prefers truth over drama. A whisper moves behind the noise of the day, saying the delay ends now and the path is already swept clean. You feel it in your breath as if your loss have learned a new rhythm that welcomes celebration. Your steps feel guided as you move through routines that suddenly feel ceremonial, like tying laces before a long-awaited journey. You sense a presence that honors your patience without demanding performance or proof. The atmosphere bends and makes space for the arrival that once lived only as a promise. Blessing 333, type Amen 333 to anchor swift, gentle breakthroughs into your life today. You remember the nights you pressed your palms together and spoke quietly into the dark, not for attention, but for companionship with hope. The world did not always answer, yet something kept your light alive like an ember cradled in careful hand. That ember grows now and lights the hallway ahead with soft gold. A message forms behind the scenes like a letter traveling through many rooms, stamped by many unseen approvals. It carries details prepared with tenderness, dates and amounts and names that align in your favor with effortless precision. Destiny chooses clarity over confusion and the paper trail will show it. You open a window and the day smells like rain over a warm stone, clean and promising. Your skin recognizes the shift as the same one that comes just before a long prayed for call finally the moment is not loud, yet it is final in the sweetest way. The road that once bent sharply now straightens and invites your steady pace. You do not need to run because arrival already agrees with your timing. Life meets you without argument and your breath settles in gratitude that speaks without words. Blessing 444, write Amen 444 to seal protection around this unfolding good news. A door you once knocked on without reply is now unlocked from the inside by a hand that wants you to enter. The lock did not break, it yielded to perfect timing that protects you from premature effort. You step forward with dignity because waiting has taught you how to carry joy. You remember a name that stayed kind when others went quiet, and today that name moves like a key in the right lock. Support comes through human hearts that finally align with divine timing, and the answer arrives through channels you can trust. Old resistance falls away as if it never had roots. Somewhere a file with your details rises to the top of a stack that once ignored your patience. Eyes that once slid past your request now stop and soften because the right understanding finally lands. Approval finds you like sunlight finding a window that used to be closed. Your spirit stands up taller without needing permission from food. It recognizes the sound of fulfillment the way a child recognizes the voice of home. You gather your courage like a coat that fits perfectly in every season. Blessing 555, Type Amen 555 to welcome joyful change that stays and serves you. An envelope waits with neat edges and soft weight, the kind that carries official kindness. Inside it a sentence glows with the strength of truth that does not wobble under scrutiny. You feel the handwriting of destiny guiding the lines toward your hand. A sound rises from the quiet, not a shout, but a bell that calls you into a room where your name is pronounced correctly. The tone is respectful. And the respect heals a part of you that once survived our crimes. You receive without apology because receiving is the honest counterpart to faithful endurance. A message lights your screen with timing that feels choreographed by care. It does not tug at your anxiety, it entices it. Words you once hoped to hear now arrive with signatures that hold. Your body relaxes in places you forgot how to unclaim. Muscles listen to the news and choose softness over defense. This is relief with roots and not a kindness that demands repayment. Blessing 666, write Amen 666 to cleanse delays, dissolve blocks, and claim rightful movements. You look back and see a clear thread running through every closed door and every deed. What once felt like wandering now looks like guided travel through a map you could not yet read. The design reveals itself like a picture emerging in warm water. In a quiet office, a decision maker takes a second look and finds what they missed, a detail that validates your standing. The revision is not forced, it is honest, and honesty leans toward you like sunlight toward an open window. Your file moves to a desk that knows what to do with it. A voice calls you by name with gentleness that feels like a hand over a racing heartbeat. The tone does not hurry you because the outcome is already secure. You are invited, not interrogated, and the invitation carries weight. You walk through a hallway that used to intimidate you. And it feels shorter today. Courage walks before you and opens portals with quiet authority. The future sits in that room and saves you a seat with your initials carved neatly into the wood. Blessing 777, type Amen 777 to activate favor that multiplies and stays consistent. A transfer completes behind the scenes with clean math and clear intention. Numbers align like stars in a predictable sky and hold their position without shaky promise. Provision arrives through legitimate doors that respect your name. The phone rings with news that carries structure, not chaos. Each detail lands in order, and your heart recognizes the rhythm of justice. Relief pours like warm light over shoulders that carried too much for too long. You revisit a memory that once stung, and notice the sting gone as if time performed delicate surgery. What remains is wisdom that smiles without bitterness. The past becomes a teacher that loves you more than it hurt you. The day stretches open, and the horizon steps closer without threat. Joy meets you like a friend who shows up early with flowers and no demand for explanation. Peace sits at your table and eats with you without rush. Blessing 888, write Amen 888 to welcome overflowing abundance and calm stewardship. You sign where you used to hesitate and your hand does not tremble. The pen moves with confidence because the paper deserves your name. Your signature feels like a flag planted in ground that finally belongs to you. A message arrives stating that processing is complete and releases authorite. The word authorite bathes your nervous system in peace that feels muted. You receive confirmation numbers that hold shape in every system that matters, a promise that stayed in the realm of maybe stepped into the room and sits down like family. Doubt loses its edge because the facts begin to agree with your faith. You take one breath and then another, and each breath feels like home. Somewhere a door clicks behind you as if a season just closed with gratitude and without regret. You are free to walk forward without dragging the chain of old waiting. Freedom tastes like clean water and you drink until your cells remember joy. Blessing 999, type Amen 999 to close old cycles with honor and open new ones with grace. Your name travels along a line of approvals that now read like a blessing. Every initial beside each line looks like a footprint of favor stepping toward your address. Paperwork becomes a pathway rather than a barrier. You gather the documents and your heart gathers calm. Red, the weight in your hands feels like proof that speaks with this check. Authority and kindness finally shake hands with your future. A call confirms delivery and the timeline shortens in your favor. The person on the other end sounds relieved to give you good news because good news enjoys being good. You listen and your silence becomes a grateful smile that could light a street. The window brightens as if the sky knows what just happened. Even the ordinary view seems cleaner, sharper, more generous. The day and you finally agree with each other. Blessing 111, write Amen 111 to crystallize clarity, timing, and perfect alignment. You organize what arrives with calm that would make your younger self proud. Systems open for you and passwords behave and signatures match. The once heavy task list becomes a short path you actually enjoy walking. Someone who once doubted now speaks respectfully and offers cooperation without hidden hooks. The energy changes in the room because truth won and nobody needs to lose for you to receive. You accept help as a sign of balance rather than weakness. A notification lights your screen with the words completed and successful. Your body believes it immediately because this outcome carries the scent of authenticity. What you hold can stand any confirmation. You sit with the news and let it settle like a bird nesting in a safe branch. Gratitude becomes a quiet river running through your day, steady and generous. You decide to live from this river and not from emergency. Blessing 222, type Amen 222 to root this victory in lasting peace and steady growth. A door opens inside you and makes space for future joy to move without hitting walls. You do not apologize for your brightness because your brightness finally feels like truth, not performance. You walk through rooms with the ease of someone who belongs. An old storyline releases you and asks for nothing in return. You leave the door ajar so that forgiveness can find you on its own schedule. The air around your heart gets wider and your chest feels like a sky. You bless the path that led you here and the path blesses you back. Mutual respect grows between you and your story. Your life fits you and you fit your life. You set gentle boundaries that protect this good news from unnecessary noise. Love becomes a filter that screens out anything that does not honor the gift. Your yes feels clean and your no feels kind. Blessing 1212, write Amen 1212 to lock in new levels and multiply joyful opportunities. A letter of acknowledgement arrives from a place that once felt unreachable. The tone recognizes your patience and the effort you invested without witnesses. You read each line slowly and your chest fills with warm courage. A meeting is scheduled and the invite feels like a coronation rather than an interview. The room you will enter is not a test, but a welcome. The calendar becomes a countdown to celebration. You prepare what you need without urgency because the outcome already likes you. Details align like respectful soldiers standing at ease. Everything that matters is already within reach. The morning of the meeting arrives with an atmosphere of quiet royalty. You greet your reflection and see resilience crowned with softness. Your eyes tell the truth that you made it. Blessing 1313, type Amen 1313 to anoint your steps with success that blesses others too. You step into the room and the air opens around you as if it has been waiting. Faces soften before you speak because your presence carries the proof of a finished system. You present yourself and the outcome presents itself back to you. The conversation unfolds like music played by people who listen to each other. There is no performance, only alignment. Agreement settles in the center of the table and belongs to everyone present. Your part concludes and gratitude rises from the floor to your shoulders like warm light. You leave with a folder that feels heavier than paper and lighter than fear. The hallway outside feels like a runway. You breathe and the breath feels like a signature written across the sky. The city sounds friendlier and even the traffic sounds like applause. You smile because your spirit taught your body how to celebrate. Blessing 1414, write Amen 1414 to expand this favor across your home, work, and relationships. A transfer posts and the numbers land exactly where they promised to land. Screens refresh and still agree with each other, which is its own mirror. Your account reflects more than currency, it reflects restoration. An approval letter follows with wording that respects your intelligence. The format is clear and the requirements are reasonable. You feel seen and supported rather than managed and minimized. Your phone vibrates with messages from people who stood with you during the waiting. Their joy amplifies yours and does not compete with it. Celebration spreads like good fire that warms and never burns. You take a quiet walk and the trees feel like witnesses that choose to clap with leaves. Even the ground under your shoes feels supportive like a promise kept. The sky signs the day with soft color that understands your heart. Blessing 1717, type Amen 1717 to secure longevity, integrity, and joyful stewardship. You arrange the papers in a place of honor because honoring increases what is honored. Order meets you and offers stability instead of strictness. The structure feels like shelter that sings. You invest in what matters to you and your choices echo with wisdom. Fear does not sit in the driver's seat because it forgot the route. Your future unfolds with calm edges and bright centers. You give thanks in a voice that belongs to you and nobody else. The sound fills your space and teaches your spine to stand like a lion. Standing tall becomes your new morning. Your sleep deepens because your nervous system trusts the morning. Rest becomes productive in the way only true rest can take. You rise without rushing because good things are not running. Blessing 2020. Write Amen 2020 to keep your vision clear and your path bright. You remember the first time you dared to believe you deserved better and your chest warms with loyalty to that version of you. You carry that earlier self forward and cover them with the proof of today. Compassion becomes your way of moving through rooms. Your energy sends a memo that only respect can read. Healthy doors open because healthy doors recognize healthy food sips. You choose projects that feel like lakes rather than deserts. Your creativity drinks and then it sings. Work begins to look like play dressed in purpose. Joy builds its own daily rituals inside your schedule and invites discipline to dance with it. Discipline accepts because joy asked, the dance sets a rhythm that wealth and wellness both enjoy. Blessing 2323, type Amen 2323 to weave grace through every hour of your day. Days, paperwork closes with signatures that feel like blessings written in. Systems confirm again with quiet consistency. The story holds together under every light. You light a candle not for drama but for acknowledgement. The small flame mirrors the large flame inside. Both flames agree to keep burning. You send a note of gratitude to the ones who stood with you when the road turned. Gratitude returns multiplied and rests in your home like a soft blanket. Your house and your heart both inherit. Evening arrives, and the peace does not thin out with the light. Night covers everything like a friendly cloak. You rest in a truth that no longer needs defending. Days. Blessing 2424, write Amen 2424 to seal this testimony and invite even greater testimonies with humility. A memory visits and bows to the present, then leaves gently. The present thanks the memory for its service and closes the door kindly. You remain here with yourself and the room feels full. You carry the news to tomorrow without fear of losing it. What is truly yours does not evaporate. It settles into your life like furniture that finally fits the room. You touch the documents one more time and smile. The paper does not only record an outcome, it records a journey. The journey blesses the steps you will take next. A final notification arrives with the word completed stamped clearly. The sound it makes in your spirit is a bell that rings once and echoes for years. You stand inside the echo and feel safe. Blessing 2727, type Amen 2727 to protect this harvest and open pathways for generous overflow. In the quiet, a reassurance arrives like a warm coat placed over your shoulders. You do not need to brace for the worst when the best has already taken its seat. Safety becomes a steady companion rather than a visitor. You are ready to share responsibly without shrinking. Your hands know how to hold and how to relieve. Balance feels natural now that fear has moved out. The calendar turns and the goodness remains. Seasons change and the blessing learns every season's language. By continuity replaces anxiety as your default say. You look forward and the road looks back with welcome. Partnership. Provision and peace travel with you and make your pace a step. Your life reads like a promise kept. Blessing infinity. Type Amen infinity to maintain momentum, multiply peace, and guard every new door with wisdom. Before the curtain closes on this day, your heart absorbs the full light of what has arrived. You honor the patience that delivered you here without bitterness. This is the good news that stays for the record of your soul. Here it's settled and final in the gentle authority that never fails. Archangel Michael says the release is real, the confirmation is true, and the path ahead is friendly to your purpose. Your name sits inside favor and favor sits inside your name. Carry this into the next hour with ease that respects your journey. Let celebration be measured and confident because you are not racing anything anymore. The blessing is home and so are. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $20. The morning grows deeper and the news grows surer like ink that finally dries without smudging. You stand where patience meets reward and the air tastes clear and kind. Courage sits beside you and watches the door that is about to open wider. A soft chime from your device lands like a gentle drumbeat of certainty. The screen shows a name that has always meant progress for you, and the message carries clean approval. Relief moves through your body with a steadiness that respects how long you will be. You gather what you need with movements that are slow and sovereign. Nothing feels rushed because nothing is at risk anymore. The path has already agreed to carry you without stones underfoot. The rhythm of the day becomes a quiet parade with banners you cannot see and blessings you can feel. People who matter respond quickly and kindly because alignment has arrived. The sky looks like it signed a contract with your future. Blessing 3030. Type Amen 3030 to secure flawless confirmations and easy next steps. You answer the call and the voice on the line carries sunlight. Each word lands like a key in the right lock and you hear the click of completion. The conversation ends with timelines that favor you and details that honor your dignity. You take a breath that reaches places inside you where fear used to love. Space opens and grants your heart a quiet balcony with a view of peace. Hey, the horizon walks closer without demanding anything, for an email follows with documents that are simple, accurate, and fair. Paragraphs read like promises that kept themselves. Your name glows on the page as if the paper itself is proud to hold it. You print what must be printed and sign where your name belongs. The pen feels steady because the outcome is steady. The table holds your elbow like a friend who knows your story and celebrates this day. Blessing 3131. Write Amen 3131 to lock and signed outcomes and multiply cooperative help. You step outside and the world greets you with weather that understands your mood. Even traffic seems choreographed to let your hope pass freely. The road points forward with the confidence of a guide who knows the way by heart. A door that once required pleading now opens with a simple hello. The receptionist smiles like a checkpoint that already knows you cleared. Inside, kindness and competence walk side by side. Your file sits at the top of the stack because your time has come. The stamps land in the right places without a single correction. Movement happens on your behalf like a river that never forgets its source. A new calendar entry drops onto your schedule and hums with friendly import. The date chosen fits your life as if your life pre-selected it. Balance and blessing share the same seat at your table. Blessing 3535. Type Amen 3535 to harmonize timing, open doors, and keep momentum gentle and strong. You meet a mentor figure who speaks truth that feels like warmth. Their guidance recognizes your strength without ignoring your scars. Trust grows quickly because real wisdom never shouts. Together you review the plan and cut away everything that asks for drama. What remains is solid, humane, and profitable. Your future looks like a well-lit hallway rather than a short pause follows, not for doubt but for gratitude. Your chest settles into the knowledge that you are not behind. The right things are happening at the right pace for the right reasons. The afternoon carries you like a soft current toward completion. Final approvals register across systems that mirror each other perfectly. Joy enters your posture and stays there without asking permission. Blessing 3838. Write Amen 3838 to crown wise counsel, clean plans, and enduring success. Numbers align on a page and the total favors your integrity. Air. The transfer clears and the receipt reads like a simple miracle with Tostana. You name the provision with thanks and the provision names you capable. Hey! You message the person who always believed and their reply arrives with happy teague. Celebration spreads quietly through your circle like music no one wants to turn down. The atmosphere of your life rises by a few degrees of warmth. A courier arrives with a packet that once felt mythical. Inside are items that prove the journey without reopening the wound. You place the packet in a safe place and breathe like a mountain. You look around your space and see evidence of becoming. The room has learned your new name and the walls hold your calm. Even the floor feels loyal to your footsteps. Blessing 4040, type Amen 4040 to stabilize finances, confirm receipts, and anchor wise stewardship. A gentle memory floats up of the moment you almost let go. You bless that version of you for staying and you promise to keep them safe from now on. The promise feels strong because it is backed by proof. You draft a simple plan for giving and for growth. Generosity gets a chair and prudence gets the chair beside it. Both agree to look out for each other. You extend thanks to the helper whose small effort made a large difference. Gratitude moves like clean water through the pipes of your relationships. Trust returns to rooms that once felt uncertain. Evening lights the windows and your home looks like a last. The sea inside you is calm and the boats of your thoughts come back to harbor. You rest the way oceans rest between tides. Blessing 4141. Write Amen 4141 to protect your home, grant restful nights, and expand gentle prosperity. A message arrives from an old gatekeeper who now becomes a bridge. Dire. Their tone is sincere and their timing is right. You accept the olive branch with courage and kindness. A quiet meeting is scheduled to settle what remained unsettled. The agenda fits into one page because clarity has no need for clutter, no. You walk in prepared, grounded, and fear. The conversation dissolves the last film of resistance. Apologies land without theatrics and agreements rise without strength. You leave lighter than you entered and the hallway seems to glow. Outside, the air feels like it has been freshly washed. Your next steps line up and smile. There. Confidence rests on your shoulders like a shawl you earn. Blessing 4242. Type Amen 4242 to heal history. Soften hearts, and complete reconciliations with ease. You notice your body responding to peace like a garden after rain. Muscles soften, breath deepens, and your face learns new softlet. The health listens when joy speaks and makes room for reminder. A routine check yields numbers that nod approvingly. The professional across from you smiles with honest relief. Your self-care choices honor this new chapter. The kitchen becomes a sanctuary where nourishment tastes like victory. And you pour a glass of water and it tastes like cussin'. Every sip feels like a small ceremony of gratis. You set a gentle bedtime that honors the miracle of this ordinary day. Sleep meets you at the doorway without barging. You fall into it like someone who finally trusts tomorrow. Blessing 5151. Type Amen 5151 to seal well-being, strength, and vitality, and keep your temple in balance. Morning arrives with a letter from a place you respect. The language is crisp and the intent is favorable. Your name sits in bold as if the font understands your story. Inside is an invitation that suits your gifts and your boundaries. Compensation is fair and expectations are humane. Everything about it matches the person you have become. You schedule a tour of a space that has been waiting quietly for you. Walls feel friendly and windows speak light, every room seems to welcome you. Keys touch your palm in a preview of a future haven. The metal carries the temperature of destiny, your grip feels natural and sure. Blessing 5252. Type Amen 5252 to unlock rightful spaces, secure fair offers, and welcome safe expansion. You meet a neighbor who treats your presence like an answered prayer. Introductions are simple and sincere. The community recognizes the frequency of your heart. Local doors open and small kindness compounds into biggie. Recommendations arrive without effort and they fit your needs perfectly. Your name circulates with respect, you find a favorite corner where ideas gather like birds. A notebook fills with plans that do not drain you. Creativity returns as a friend who does not ask you to perform, you structure your week with pockets of joy that refuel your purpose. Work becomes a series of meaningful moments rather than a pile of tasks. Energy stays generous from morning to night, blessing 5353. Type Amen 5353 to attract friendly allies, bright ideas, and sustainable energy. A message from afar brings news that feels like family even if not by blood. Their offer aligns with your timeline and honors your boundaries. Partnership becomes a bridge you can both whittle. You draft agreements that read like clear mirrors, every clause respects both sides and there are no hidden stones beneath the path. Integrity becomes the architecture of the whole design. The announcement goes public and the response is warm and steady. People celebrate you without placing you on a pedestal. The spotlight feels like sunlight rather than interrogation. You honor the momentum with measured steps and focused celebration. No part of you is hungry for chaos and awe. Plenty sits quietly at your table and shares its breath. Blessing 5454. Type Amen 5454 to bless partnerships. Illuminate integrity and keep a claim peaceful. A shipment arrives early and nothing is missing, inventory counts match to the last digit. Excellence pulls its chair closer and decides to stay. You open a package that contains a small token of recognition. The card says more than the object and your heart hears every word. You place it where gratitude can ye. A system that once lagged now runs smoothly, the update everyone hoped for finally works as promised. Time returns to you as if a vault had opened. You catch your reflection and see steadiness where you once saw strain, your eyes belong to someone who trusts time. Patience and fulfillment merge like two rivers that always intended to meet. Blessing 5555. Type Amen 5555 to preserve excellence, attract honor, and redeem lost time. An invitation arrives to share what you've looted. You accept with humility that still contains strength. Your story transforms into a map others can follow. You prepare notes that put tenderness beside technique. The outline is simple and the message is generous. You offer without depletion because abundance learned your address. The event is small in size and large in impact. Faces in the room hold quiet breakthroughs the way hands hold warm cups. You feel purpose humming like a safe engine. You leave with an inner glow that needs no explanation. Service and joy shake hands and agree to keep meeting. The road home feels like a song you have always known. Blessing 5656. Type Amen 5656 to expand influence with humility and multiply impact without strain. Later, you receive a message from a distant office confirming everything discussed. The language is firm and kind. Dates, numbers, and names align like constellations. You add the confirmation to your records and your records look like a museum of answered hopes. Order becomes a blessing you love to keep. Calm becomes your signature fragrance. A small errand turns into a sweet encounter with someone who needed a word you carry naturally now. You speak it and watch their shoulders lower. Hope passes from your hands to theirs without losing strength. You walk away with the simple happiness that comes from being who you are. The street feels friendly and the evening feels safe. You thank the day for how well it loved you. Blessing 5757. Type Amen 5757 to circulate hope, protect confirmations, and keep your records blessed. A weekend plan forms that honors rest and light joy. You choose a place that feels like a deep breath. The reservation process is easy and the dates fit perfect. Travel unfolds without delays and the journey mirrors your inner weather. Even the small details cooperate with gentle precision. You arrive and peace meets you at the door. During a quiet moment, you write a short letter to your future self. The words carry clarity and tenderness in equal leisure. You seal it and promise to read it when a new door opens. You realize the new door is already here. The realization lands like a soft bell carried across war. Gratitude gathers in your chest and refuses to leave. Blessing 5858. Type Amen 5858 to bless rest, travel, and holy realizations that heal your pace. Back home, you notice your space has changed with you. Corners feel kinder and shells feel purple, even the light knows where to see. You recalibrate goals with wisdom that respects both ambition and ease. Everything that matters remains and everything that drains gently exits. Your calendar breathes like a living thing. A final note arrives from a once distant ally confirming that the circle has closed. The signature reads like a handshake you always deserved. Completion becomes the ground under your feet. Night gathers without weight and your dreams feel like good letter. The morning beyond them is friendly and sure. You sleep in the safety of a story that now loves its main character. Blessing 6161. Type Amen 6161 to preserve completion, invite gentle upgrades, and keep your peace multiplying. The dawn leans into your window like a gentle witness with perfect memory. It remembers the nights you held on and it honors them without reopening old pain. Today feels like a promise that matured and came home with steady footsteps. A fresh message holds the subject line completed with elegant simplicity. Inside, a clear breakout of steps shows that most of them are already behind you. You exhale and the room rearranges itself around your feet. You forward the confirmation to your trusted circle and their replies feel like a choir. Every word lands like petals on a path that already knows your feet. Love multiplies inside the thread and chooses to stay. You check your records and see how every piece now fits like calibrated gear. The old scramble is gone and the new order hums with friendly power. Your name looks comfortable beside the word approved. Blessing 6262. Type Amen 6262 to preserve order, confirm deliveries, and magnify quiet victories. A calendar reminder guides you toward a meeting meant to bless your momentum. The host greets you with genuine respect and offers a seat at the table that once felt far away. The tone is soft but the outcomes are strong. Documents appear on the screen with highlights that favor your readiness. You read line by line and feel seen with each clause. Negotiation turns into alignment because truth needs no struggle. You agree on a timeline that honors both ambition and rest. The plan breathes and still delivers. Everyone leaves the room lighter because clarity keeps its promises. In the hallway you feel gratitude running ahead like a friendly scowl. Doors greet you by name and corridors shorten as if space respects your mission. Even the elevator moves like it knows your future. Blessing 6363, write Amen 6363 to anchor fair terms, clear timelines, and durable harmony in every agreement. At home you gather 3 items that symbolize the journey. A key for rightful access, a letter for official kindness, and a seed for grove without right. You place them together like a personal altar to progress. The key reminds you that access is now normal and not rare. The letter carries the warmth of signatures that believe in you. The seed says that everything healthy grows quietly and then surprises everyone. You prepare a simple meal that tastes like relief. Every bite tells your body that struggle is over and stability is here. Nourishment and gratitude share the same plate with no competition. Evening light wanders across your walls and paints the room with peace. The floor feels like steady ground after a long ridge. You take the last call of the day and it ends with the word finalized. Blessing 6464. Type Amen 6464 to bless access, confirm legitimacy, and nurture growth that protects your pace. Tomorrow's agenda looks like a friendly staircase with wide steps. Each step invites rather than demise. Your calendar finally cooperates with your soul. You sleep without bargaining and dream in the language of completion. In those dreams, doors open like ordinary kindness and not like miracles you must chase. The night becomes a safe container for tomorrow's eat. Morning greets you with energy that does not spike or crash. Your heartbeat keeps a rhythm that respects joy and work at the same time. Even your thoughts line up and hold hands. You move through a task like water friend. Calls end on time because truth tends to be brief. Emails form sentences that carry their own light. Blessing 6767. Write Amen 6767 to harmonize energy, protect routines, and keep productivity joyful. A message from a once difficult department reads like a new chapter. Their tone shifts from guarded to generous. You witness transformation without needing to police it. An updated ledger reflects accuracy to the last digit. Credits arrive exactly where they belong and debits hold integrity. Arithmetic becomes a testimony of fairness. You allocate a portion to building and a portion to blessing. Both accounts feel right and balanced. Your future thanks you for this choice and your heart agrees. A delivery arrives earlier than scheduled and the packaging is pristine. Inside is a tool you once had to borrow and now it is finally yours. Ownership sits gently in your hands and calls you capable. Blessing 6868. Type Amen 6868 to fortify provision, secure precise accounting, and crown ownership with A. You walk into a space meant for creation and the air hums. Ideas land without the old chase and stay long enough to become plan. Focus arrives like an old friend who knows where everything goes. You outline a project that once felt too big to start. Today it feels like a series of kind steps wrapped in yuga. The deadline looks friendly because the process now supports you. A collaborator reaches out with timing that feels like choreography. Their strengths cover your gaps and your gifts cover theirs. Mutual respect draws a circle that work enjoys standing inside. You craft a schedule that gives rest a real seat at the table. The schedule returns the favor by multiplying your output. Balance now feels like a strategy rather than a luxury. Blessing 6969. Type Amen 6969 to anoint creativity, invite aligned partners, and establish sustainable rhythm. News from family arrives with softness instead of strength. Old misunderstandings dissolve like fog under patient sunlight. Love steps forward wearing new language and steady eyes. You answer with clarity that holds kindness without losing boundary. Everyone hears the tone and chooses peace. A new pattern begins where no one loses and everyone is honored. You bring a small gift to the next visit and it carries me. The gesture repairs what words alone could not repair. The room learns to breathe in unity. Departure feels like arrival because hearts met in the middle. You walk away without unspoken weight. The road home looks brighter and surer. Blessing 7070. Type Amen 7070 to heal family currents, strengthen boundaries, and keep unity protected. A letter from a registry confirms that your name stands in good or I. Licenses, permits, and identifications align like stars in a reliable set. Systems that once stalled now usher you through. You organize essential papers into a folder that looks like quiet power. Labels face the same direction and your future sighs with relief. Water becomes an armor made of gentleness. Mentor texts a voiced note that sounds like sunlight on wood. Their words affirm the path you chose without asking you to hurry. Guidance becomes a river that never floods and never dries. You send a heartfelt reply and the thread becomes a lifeline for wisdom. There is no worship in the exchange, only shared respect. Growth smiles because ego did not get invited. Blessing 7171. Write Amen 7171 to bless documentation, attract patient guidance, and dress order with grace. An unexpected refund posts and laughs softly in your favor. The amount is not small and not symbolic. It is exactly right, which is the most beautiful kind of right. You decide to allocate it towards something that builds and something that blesses. The split feels like music sung in two harmonies that lift each other. Stewardship wears joy like a well-fitted coat. A short walk leads you past a window with a sign that whispers opportunity. Inside, a conversation unfolds like a door. The offer that follows respects your time and your worth. You leave with a document that expands your capacity without stealing your peace. The expansion fits like a room with good windows. Air and light move freely around your next level. Blessing 7272. Type Amen 7272 to lock in refunds, welcome strategic opportunities, and grow with ease. A quiet afternoon invites you to tend your inner garden. You sit and listen to the parts that carried you here. Gratitude pours like warm tea over every memory. You write a few lines that become a promise to protect your P. A promise feels strong because you finally know how peace works in your body. This knowledge cannot be taken because it lives in your bones. A gentle release follows for habits that no longer serve you. They fall away without drama because the new life does not feed them. Space opens where strain used to live. You place new habits where the old ones stood and watch them grow. Consistency wraps around them like kind weather. Progress smiles without needing applause. Blessing 7373, write Amen 7373 to anchor inner healing, guard peace, and strengthen life-giving habits. Another confirmation arrives from a place that once delayed for months. The message is concise and generous. Processing is marked complete and delivery is scheduled. You notify the one person who always cheered from the edges. Their joy arrives in all caps and heartfelt emoji. Celebration moves through your chat like soft light. A courier calls to confirm address and time. The voice sounds glad to help, which is its own bliss. Logistics bow to your story and promise simplicity. You brace only for goodness, and goodness keeps it sure. Packages arrive, barcode scan, and everything aligns. The moment feels both ordinary and sacred. Blessing 7474, type Amen 7474 to seal painless logistics, timely arrivals, and friendly service. You open a velvet pouch and find a small keepsake from someone who believed. It carries weight without heaviness, meaning sits quietly in your palm and blesses your timeline. You place the keepsake where your eyes can greet it each morning. Memory learns to celebrate rather than ache. The past becomes a foundation rather than a chain. An update from your bank confirms that new safeguards are active. The tone is reassuring and the tools are strong. Security chooses invisibility and still holds everything firmly. You breathe easier knowing your name is protected in every system that matters. Safety shifts from hope to structure. Peace grows roots that reach into every corner of your day. You. Blessing 7575, type Amen 7575 to fortify security, honor loyal allies, and transform memory into strength. Young voice in your circle asks how you kept going. You answer with simple sentences and real stats. They listen and their eyes shine like open windows. You offer a resource that once rescued a hard week. They accept with gratitude and promise to use it well. Mentorship happens quietly and leaves the room warm. Later, a message arrives from them reporting small victories. Your smile stays for a long time because passing the torch multiplies the light. Legacy begins where scarcity ends. You realize your journey now feeds other journeys. Purpose nods with satisfaction and sits down to stay. The radius of your life widens without stretching you thin. Blessing 7676. Type Amen 7676 to multiply legacy, light new paths, and keep your cup refilled. The project you seeded earlier begins to sprout in public view. Feedback arrives with sincerity and usefulness. You harvest insights without losing your voice. A media mention frames your work with respect. The tone neither inflates nor diminishes. It simply recognizes the quality you fought to protect. You respond with a statement that feels like your heartbeat ritmo. Clarity and kindness travel in the same sentence. The audience senses the authenticity and leans in. Orders increase at a pace that matches your infrastructure. You scale without panic because preparation is a blessing that pays interest. Systems hum like well-tuned instruments. Blessing 7777. Type Amen 7777 to bless visibility, attract honest recognition, and stabilize growth. A letter of thanks from an elder arrives with elegant handwriting. Their words carry the weight of decades and the grace of wisdom. Reading it feels like sitting in a warm room with good wood and steady lad. You reply with respect that carries your old chest. The exchange bridges generations without strain. Honor becomes a living river that flows forward and back. You dedicate a small portion of your schedule to quiet learning. Books gather on your table like helpful elders who never interrupt. Your mind drinks slowly and keeps what might. Ideas begin to link arms across fields that once felt separate. Innovation smiles when humility opens the door. Breakthroughs visit and ask to be made useful. Blessing 7878, type Amen 7878 to crown learning. Honor elders, and invite practical innovation. A gentle notice arrives that previous application you forgot has been approved. Timing proves itself again by arriving now rather than then. The new layer stacks perfectly onto your current foundation. You accept with gratitude and set boundaries that ensure peace. The team on the other side nods and adjusts with ease. Collaboration finds its stride early. You create a simple dashboard that shows progress in honest numbers. The visuals tell the story without drawing. You read the story and feel proud in the quiet way that lasts. Celebration tonight looks like laughter in a kitchen and music at a comfortable volume. Choice replaces compulsion in every detail. Joy becomes the default setting of your home. Blessing 7979. Type Amen 7979 to welcome delayed approvals, automate progress, and bless domestic joy. A clear morning brings crisp air and bright edges. You step outside and the world greets you like a friend. Even the birds sound like tiny announcements of continuity. On the way back, a small sign on a community board catches your eye. It offers a chance to contribute exactly what you carry. The alignment feels handcrafted. You sign up and the process is smooth. No friction, no hidden costs, only shared benefit. Service slips into your life as naturally as breath. You mark the date on your calendar and feel a quiet thrill. Giving has become compatible with rest. Generosity and health hold hands in your schedule. Blessing 8080. Type Amen 8080 to bless community service, align contributions, and keep generosity replenished. A final document for this season arrives and it is flawless, not a comma out of place, not a clause that raises your shoulders. Save as. Perfection feels gentle when it is I's. You file it where it belongs and the drawer glides shut like a satisfied sigh. Organization keeps your blessing available for future doors. You have become a safe place for good knees. You sit at the window and watch the day fold into evening. Nothing chases you and nothing hides for. The present loves you and shows. The lamp clicks on and throws a circle of warm light around your work. Inside that circle, your life tells the truth in calm sentences. The truth is that the waiting turned into winning without hurting your softness. Blessing 8181. Type MN 8181 to seal flawless clovers, protect archives, and keep your softness power. Tomorrow's map opens with clean lines and generous margins. You sense the next rise without craving key. Pace becomes your superpower and peace becomes your cup. Your name keeps traveling into rooms where it is well. The story keeps choosing fruit over noise. Provision keeps arriving through doors that respect your dignity. Every step now carries the signature of completion. Every breath repeats the bright sentence of arrival. Every hour greets you like a teammate rather than a tete. Blessing 8282, type MN 8282 to maintain momentum. Honor your compass and expand with unwavering peace.